What's going on, YouTube? My name's Shannon Petrie and welcome to my channel. I call my garage Petrie's Garage. It's my hobby garage. I do work a day job, but then I always like to come here, and this is how I relieve stress. This is how I spend my time. I love working on hobbies. I love working on cars, doing swaps, things of that nature. I'm not a professional by any means. I am pretty much a hobbyist at this stuff. I have worked in the automotive field for a few years, so I do know how to diagnose, I do know how to fix and maintain vehicles, but I really like to build things. So just to take you guys on a little tour of my shop, I have motors over here in the corner. I have everything from an RB25 swap right over here. It's a Series 1 swap. Right here, that's going to be in a future build. That's going to go into a 300ZX. I have over here underneath the blanket, well, carpet basically, I have a S54 engine swap with the 6-speed manual transmission that came out of a 2001 BMW M3. I have a H22 that's got a good head on it with the stage 3 cams. I'm going to do that head swap on my car later on, which I'll talk more about. I have a B20B. I have a GSR engine over there in the corner. I have a slew of VTEC heads over here. So that pretty much covers the corner over there. And I also have 97 GSXR 600 frame for my race bike that I crashed a while back. The frame's tweaked. I need to swap that. This is one of my daily cars. It's a 1997 BMW M3. It's a sedan. It is automatic. I cannot find these cars in good shape being a standard. They are all beat up, so I ended up buying an automatic car that I can swap later. That's why I have the engine out over there. But in the meanwhile, I've been fixing things up. I have to put a camber kit in this, which I'll show you guys how to do so. And you know, I've been getting crazy tire wear because of my camber. Over here, I have a 72 Datsun 240Z with a L28 ET swap in it. This is for someone I'm putting together for. It's a pretty nice setup. It's a lot of custom trick bits on this. You know, he wanted the vehicle to maintain the heritage of the L series engine, but he wanted a turbo setup, which has got a T3 setup on it. I got rid of the distributor, put in a Ford EDIS system. It's got Mustang coil packs on it. It's got a surge tank because it was a carbureted car with a low pressure pump feeding a high pressure pump. That's pretty cool. You guys will see more of that. I got to finish this thing, so you guys will be along the ride for that. Over here, I have my track day bikes. This is my buddy's bike, so this don't count. But this is a 2007 GSXR 600. It's a full race setup. It's got everything from Brembo brakes to an engine management system, steering stabilizer, tricked out suspension, traction dynamic, Öhlins, rear shock. It's my track day weapon basically, and I have a classic GSXR 600. That was the frame back there. I'm going to be swapping the frame out of that in the future. That's my WR450F. That is just the bike I like to ride trails on, you know, so you guys will see me messing with motorcycles. You'll be seeing me doing track days. I love to do track days. I used to race competitively, but now as I'm getting older, you know, I have a family, so it's a little bit risky. It's not like cars, you know. If you want to try to relate to that, go ahead and do 150 miles on the hood of your car and get a feel of that. But anyway, back to the BMW here. It's a nice setup. You know, I thought about just doing a transmission swap on that, but then I ended up getting my hands on a wrecked M3, and that's how I got that swap. So over here, I have a 1996 Nissan 300ZX. It's an OBD2 which it really don't matter in the end, because I really want the 96 because it's got the nice suede interior, which you can see it just needs to be cleaned up. It's a pretty clean starting point, so I'm gonna RB25 swap this thing. That's why I have an RB25 engine swap over there. That's gonna go into this car here, and then I'll take you outside real quick to my Honda Civic hatch. I put this thing together not too long ago. It is a H2B setup, which I already opened the hood. Sorry about that. Let's see. So it's an H2B swap, H22A4. I got Nippon high compression pistons in it, ARP fasteners and whatnot inside the engines, GSR transmission, skunk manifold, 70mm skunk throttle body. It has no timing cover on it, as you can see, so I have to set the base timing on this thing, and I have to figure that out. I'll take you guys along the ride for that. But this is pretty much my toy. I've been driving it just recently. It's pretty cool. I got a big brake upgrade. I'll talk a little bit more about that. And I have me a trailer here for my motorcycles. This is what I use to transport my bikes to and from the track. But yeah, as you guys can see, I have a slew of things going on in here, and I just want to take you guys along the journey and hopefully build an audience off of this. I take pleasure in showing people how to do things, because growing up I didn't really have a whole lot of people showing me these things. I had to go to school for it. I had to, you know, watch videos, do research, and that's what it's all about. You know, you really got to do your research on a lot of these things because they cost a lot of money. Projects cost a lot of money, and if you don't do your research, that money can just literally blow up on you. But yep, this is the RB25 swap. That's what's gonna go into 300. And I do work a day job. This is a hobby, like I say, so I try to keep the content fresh. I'll try to keep things moving, so bear with me, and let's just let this journey begin. Nice to meet you guys, and stay tuned for a lot of video footage coming up. But anyway, yeah, so that's what I have. But what I'm gonna do today on my Civic, because I just got it legal so I can start driving it, I got Honda S300 on it. I need to set the timing, but as you can see, I don't have a timing cover on it, and it's an aftermarket oil pump, and the oil pump don't even have the little arrow on it for the timing mark. So I'm gonna line the cam gears up on it right here in there as best I can and see where my timing marks line up, and mark it reference top dead center and make a reference mark on the oil pump itself, and then try to time it for the 16 degrees base timing that it requires for the basic setup on the Honda. Okay, so I got the car on the lift. Here's my compadre Joseph. Joseph, say hi. Say hi to YouTube. Word. We got the compressor right now airing up. I got a little cheap Harbor Freight compressor. It's been a good compressor. That's what I mainly use to do the work that I have, so not a bad deal. This is what I did. There's a flashlight. Where's the flashlight at? That's it. Okay, so what I did was I went ahead and I lined the two timing marks up here like I said before, and I went ahead and saw where the line on the crank pulley went and lined up onto the block of the engine, and then I marked it right there with the white dot you see on the tensioner. Now it's a big wide dot, but mainly it's the left edge of that dot. It lines up perfectly with the top dead center mark, and from there I use that to determine the point of top dead center. So what I did from there was I went on to my Hondata right here. You can see it. I went to set timing. Boom, right there. That puts it at 16 degrees before top dead center. That's what it should be for Honda, and that's where the base setting of the ignition timing should be. So what that does is that sets it at a hard 16 degrees before top dead center. And I took my timing light, make sure my cables don't touch the exhaust. On the timing light, I put it at 16 degrees advance. So at 16 degrees advance, that should put my timing mark even with the edge of that dot like I described earlier. So I don't know if the camera's gonna be able to capture this, but as you can see, I got the dot right there, the white line on the crank pulley. It lines up evenly with the edge, the left edge of that dot. So that right there tells me that I'm 16 degrees before top dead center, because I advanced it 16 degrees. So if you look at the distributor where the notch is and where it tightens down at, it's actually in the middle, somewhat close to the middle. So that tells me that I should be not spot on, but close enough. So I don't have a timing cover. That pulley I have on the car, it's a single belt pulley. It didn't fit on the timing cover. The timing cover I had was crap, so I'm just gonna go off of this setting for now to be able to get the fuel tables right on the map, get a base map set so that I can start tuning it. Later on, once I get things drivable and tuning right, then I'll go ahead and I'll have a dyno tune eventually. But for now, you know, drivability and getting it right, that's what I got to do. So here we go. I'm just gonna go and close this. You're gonna hear a difference in the engine. Not really, but it did set it back. And if I go to display, which I don't know if I have my timing on this, sensors, boom, sensors. I look at my CBS map gear, ignition, 18, 19, 18, 19, 20, 18, 19, 20 is where it's at. So 18, 19, 20. Let me go ahead and try to verify this. I'm just gonna put it on 20. Right there, 20. Okay, hold it. And the line, it should line up close to, which I check it. Boom, left edge at 20 degrees. And that's the computer controlling the timing. It lines up. I think we got it. Okay, so I showed you guys how to do the timing, which I just did. And I got Joseph here. He's checking my air pressures, making sure they're right. So now that I have the timing set, I'm gonna go ahead and make a couple rips. I know that I'm gonna be off on my air fuel ratios now, because when I first put the car together, I got the Hondata. That was a little bit of a fight to get the air fuel to log right with my freaking gauge and everything else, and vice versa. But now that I got that going, not knowing what the timing was, I went ahead and just started tuning it to be able to drive it. So it's drivable. That way I can start tuning. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'll take you guys on a quick little rip, and I'll show you a little bit about how I adjust the fuel ratios. So like I said, I'm no means an expert in this. I'm just learning how to tune. So it's been a frustrating but fun adventure. So okay, so I'm in the car now with Joseph. Say hi, Joseph. So to link up the Hondata, you have this icon right here, 300S Manager. I'm gonna go ahead and double click on that. to go to online, download. That downloads the fuel map for my car that's currently saved. This icon right here is how you start your data logging. Clicked on it. Now the cells are highlighted. They show you where you're at on the fuel table. So I'm gonna go ahead and go down this little road and make a couple rips and see how well she runs and get into the upper RPM range, and that way I can start tuning a little bit on the wide throttle.
Okay.
Show the tach.
So like moving closer.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
Put it on the tach. So the more I accelerate, the more I get the cells filled in right here. Here, hold that.
Yeah.
Show my tach. Yeah, stay tuned for more footage coming up, and I'll try to keep the content going, and like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys soon.